Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another crafting tutorial. And it's been a while, but I've been busy with a whole lot of things, and one of them was recreating one of my very first videos about 6 or 7 years ago, and that's an easy way to make some apartment buildings for The Walking Dead or Batman or any type of modern games. So as you can see, made my own logo in graffiti on one of these houses. So it's very simple, very easy to do, and I'm gonna show you how, if you follow me to the crafting table, we'll do this. Come on! Alright my friends, let's get started. Now I got these packs from Action for about 80 cents per pack. And if you don't have an Action store near you, of course, you can easily just search and Google brick textures, color print those, and it works exactly the same. Now, a lot of cool details on these. Very dirt cheap. I basically bought everything the store had. Now I'm gonna use a 5mm foam board and chipboard and a glue stick. And first we're gonna start by gluing it all on the foam board. And then, as you can see here, glue the walls also on the chipboard and on the foam board. Then glue the roof on some foam board. Now proceed to cut it all out. Go slow, take your time with this, because you don't want to tear up the foam, and make sure your knife is very sharp when you do this. And also, as a side note, you will need 4 pieces per building, and the side walls will be done with the chipboard. These are the side walls. Now I'm going to make a bunch of buildings at the same time. Also, Google window textures and print these out to the scale that you want. Also the same for front doors and stuff like that. Now next we're going to cut out the front door and the windows that you need, and then we'll glue these to some cardstock. I'm using a knife and a scissor, both in combination here. Just cut them away. Like so. Alright, now start by gluing them on a piece of cardstock, and make sure that you leave enough room between the windows and the doors, because we will need a little bit of an overhang to attach these on the inside of the wall panels. And I'm simply using a glue stick to do this. Let it dry. Now measure 17 centimeters at the bottom and 22 centimeters to the top. Do this on the back, and yeah, or you can make them however big or small you want, and then start by proceed to cut these out. Also keep the offcuts, they will come in handy for other projects as well. Alright, cool. Now do this, as I said, for as many buildings as you want, and better do this in one go. It will save you time, trust me. Can be a bit tedious, but put on a podcast and some music and then go for it. Now for each building you need 2 walls on foam board and 2 walls on chipboard, as I mentioned. On the back, measure 7 centimeters from the bottom and mark this, and repeat this going up. And as you can see, the top is 8 centimeters because there is a 1 centimeter overhang for the roof. Now each floor of this apartment building will be 7 centimeters, and I trace these on the walls, the other walls of foam board. Now I measure 2 centimeters from each side. Oh, don't forget, it's important to do this on the back. Now from those 2 centimeters, measure the halfway point, which is 6.5 centimeters to the left and 6.5 centimeters to the right. Like so. I'm simply going to draw a line here. This will give me a perfect halfway point to work with. Now from there, work 1 centimeter up, mark that as well, and we're going to trace the windows. Wherever you want them, of course. I'm just doing this. This is a side wall. I'm leaving some apartment windows in the middle. Just 1 centimeter is enough. Now use a sharp X-Acto to cut these out, and note you can also trace them on the front of the building, but you need to be very precise when cutting them from the front, and also be very careful. Make sure your knife is very, very sharp. And once you've done these, simply cut through them and press them out, like so, and press them out from the front to the back, like so. And as you can see, this is what it will look like. Now here I did a side wall and a back wall, and now I'm going to do a front wall. And I'm simply going to use this to trace some of the windows wherever I want them to be. And I'm going to cut these out as well.
Just go slow. Cut them out. And this is what it looks like if you cut them out from the front. Now I cut out the door and mark this out as well. So simply start by tracing this. Like so. Draw the lines on the front or on the back and then cut them away, and as you can see, a nice snug fit. And the same here, you can see what it will look like. And this is a really very easy and cheap, definitely cheap way to make a lot of buildings for your zombie games or superhero games or war games or whatever you want. Now next I'm going to cut the roof 17 centimeters by 16 centimeters. Like so. Now, okay, so cut the roof 17 by 16 centimeters. I did make a mistake, so it's best to first glue the front wall and the side wall together, then measure the roof against that, and only then mark out where to cut the roof for a good fit. And I screwed up on this, so make sure you do that for a much easier way to process this. Alright guys? Alright, now you can use PVA or hot glue to attach the windows and the doors. And as you can see, I'm holding black paint. You can paint in the window tills before the windows before you glue them on. Now with offcuts of the chipboard, cut pieces to glue above the windows for extra 3D elements. Also keep the windows you cut from the chipboard. These will be used for window tills later. Alright, and here you can see it's about 1 centimeter high, and I leave a little bit of an overhang of the window, and I'm simply using PVA glue to attach this on. It gives a nice 3D element and a nice look. Or you can use hot glue, as I'm doing here. Just note that hot glue creates more wisps, and you will have a lot harder part to clean this up. Alright, now I do everything I previously did for all the buildings that I want to make, and there are a lot of them. So just take your time, enjoy the process, and enjoy what you create. And it's always good to add some variation to your buildings. It looks better on the table because, yeah, otherwise if it's all uniform and all the same, it doesn't really look all that great. But hey, whatever you guys fancy, go for it. And it does take quite some time, but just enjoy the process, alright? Now here's how it looks when you have all the pieces for one building. And yeah, I'm really happy with the result. And if you want to, because I just printed the doors and the windows in black and white, but you can just as easily print them in color or use some contrast paint, water it down and paint them as well, alright? But I'm just leaving them as is. Now here you can see a chipboard and foam board, which I will glue together soon. Like so. Hot glue it all together, but remember to glue a front and a side wall and then the roof. Also the side walls are chipboard, as I mentioned. It's important, so keep measuring the roof until it fits snugly. Cut away pieces if needed, and once it fits, then you can glue them all together in one big box. Like so, and voila, you have an apartment building. And it takes hot glue very well. It sticks together immediately. Just be careful for wisps. Now here you can see me use these strips from the windows, and I'm going to use these for the window tills or window sills. I don't know how to call it in English. But yeah, more 3D elements. Now also cut a signpost that said rooms to the side of the building from foam board, but of course this is optional. You can do whatever you want to further the details to your buildings. Now next I start to paint the inner windows and doors with black paint, and I also the window tills. Then with an orange paint I start by doing the sides of these buildings from the chipboard and the overhangs. Now for graffiti you can either color print some or be creative and paint some of your own. Don't have to do graffiti, of course. And here you can see a collection of old and new buildings that I've done so far. The pharmacy is on this channel as well. I'll put a link on top soon. The one in the back, and those are done with basically textured brick texture that I color printed. Now this is still have to be painted with orange and black. This will be a restaurant, so we'll add a sign here. Here's a small garage box which I made from offcuts. So yeah, thank you all for watching, everybody, and see you next time. Alright, bye.